सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. We'll chant this shloka. First shloka I will chant, you can repeat. Nahan deho nendriyanyantarango nahankarah pranavargo na buddhihi दारापत्य क्षेत्र वित्तादि दूरः साक्षी नित्यः प्रत्यगात्मा शिवोऽहम्. Can you try chanting? हाँ. This text is called Advaita Pancaratnam. Simple meaning we had seen. Pancharatnam means 5 gems. 5 gems of non-duality. That is the literal meaning. But implied meaning is Pancharatnam refer to the 5 verses that comprise this text. So Pancharatnam means gem like 5 verses dealing with Advaitam, non-duality. So Advaita Pancharatnam means gem like 5 verses revealing non-duality. Or since this text is mainly designed for nididhyasanam, contemplation, otherwise called samadhi, we can say the gem like 5 verses for contemplation on non-duality. So these are the 5, this text is consisting of 5 shlokas which are meant for, useful for contemplation upon non-duality or non-dual self. Another title for this text, in fact I have got one particular reading, in that it is called Advaita Panchakam. So another name for the text is Advaita Panchakam. Panchakam means a group of 5 verses. And Advaita, we have already seen, non-dual self. A group of 5 verses revealing, dealing with this non-dual self. The word Advaita has got 2 parts, A and Dvaita. So what is Advaita? Na vidyate dvaitam yasmin. The self which is free from any type of duality. That is called Advaita. So this text is a group of 5 verses revealing the self which is free from any type of duality. What type of duality generally we experience? Jiva, Jiva, Bhedaha. I am one Jiva, you are another Jiva. Jiva, Jiva difference, which is a big problem. I am a superior Jiva. I am Mahatma, you are Dushtatma. So, means you are a wicked self, I am the noble self. Jiva, Jiva, Bheda. Jiva, Jagat, Bheda. I am different, the world is different. Jiva Ishvara Bheda. I am different, Ishvara is different. And Jagat Ishvara Bheda also people generally consider that world is here, Ishvara is above. So the world and Ishvara also are different. All of them, all these types of differences are referred to by the word Dvaitam. So Advaitam means the reality, the self, which is free from all types of differences. And this text is dealing with the contemplation upon this Advaita Atma, non-dual self that I am. And Nididhyasanam, for which this text is designed, Nididhyasanam itself is not a pramanam. Shravanam alone is pramanam. Pramana Vyapara, the operation of means of knowledge, is primarily there in Shravanam, listening to the Vedanta from a traditional teacher. Then what is the purpose of Nididhyasanam? We have seen Nididhyasanam is for changing our wrong orientation. As Swamiji used this word, it is meant for reorientation. Or we can say deorientation. Deorientation means whatever wrong orientation we have about myself, about the world, and about Ishvara, that wrong orientation is negated with the help of the teaching we have received in Shravanam. So in Nididhyasanam, we are not getting any new knowledge. Whatever knowledge we have received, we are re-invoking, reliving. We are reliving the knowledge which we have received during Shravanam. It is something like chewing the cud by the cow. You know that cow has got special this ability that whatever grass it has chewed and sent into the stomach, it can bring it back to the mouth, and again cow chews it. That is called chewing the cud. So similarly in Nididhyasanam we are doing that. Whatever teaching we have received, which is there in our mind, which is like the stomach of the cow, from there again we are bringing it back, of course, to our mind only. And that is what Nididhyasanam. So Nididhyasanam is not pramanam, is not the primary means for jnanam. There is a big discussion in Shastra that what is the main pramanam? Shravanam is the main sadhanam or Nididhyasanam is the main sadhanam? Our Sampradaya says Shravanam is the main sadhanam. Why? Because Shravanam is in the form of pramana vyapara. It is in the form of operation of the means of knowledge. And any knowledge is born of the operation of the means of knowledge. And therefore, Shravanam is the main sadhana for Jnanam. Manana and Nididhyasanam are helping us to remove the obstacles in getting the results of Jnanam. The Jnanam which we have received during Shravanam is fraught with some obstacles. And those obstacles are removed by Manana and Nididhyasanam. For that Nididhyasanam, here this Advaita Pancaratnam, and like Advaita Pancaratnam, there are many stotras. You must have heard this, Nirvana Shatkam, Mano Buddhya Hankara Chittanina, that is one. Dashashloki, Na Bhumir Na Toyam Na Tejo Na Vayu. One more. Like that, so many stotras are there, primarily for this contemplation. And here, one more is in the form of Advaita Pancaratnam, where Advaita Atma is revealed. So the teaching of Vedanta is reproduced or it is paraphrased in this sutra. Alright. And Shastra starts revealing this Advaita Atma by Atma Anatma Viveka. Yesterday we saw that. And in that, first principle followed is I, Drashta, knower, am different from Drishyam, the known, whatever is experienced. I, the experiencer, knower, am different from anything that is known. And we apply this principle to the body, to the sense organs, to the mind, to the intellect, and even to ignorance. Ignorance, as this morning we saw that ignorance also is something known to me. I am aware of ignorance. That is why if I ask you, do you know Chinese language? Then what do you say? Most of you say, is there anybody who knows Chinese language fully? One or two words you may be knowing. But is there anybody who knows Chinese? Okay. So you can say, because sometimes when I give this example, somebody says, I know Chinese only. Therefore I check it. So, I do not know Chinese language. Means I have got ignorance of Chinese language. Am I aware of that or not? Yes. And follow the same principle. Whatever I am aware of, I am different from that. I am free from or different from ignorance. This is the only way to be completely free from ignorance. Pujya Swamiji very nicely presented this idea. I was so much impressed by that, the way he presented, that this is the only way you can be free from ignorance. By knowing that I am Sakshi, the knower, illuminator of ignorance. Otherwise, if you try to remove ignorance by regular method, what is the regular method? You try to know the subject matter. Now you start learning Chinese, a very difficult language. Isn't it? Japanese, Chinese, very difficult. Japanese person only told me that Swamiji, you are very difficult to learn Japanese. So many, they have got alphabets, what we call, they are symbols. So one way is you struggle and try to remove ignorance. That is what we have been trying. But even if you try, you will never be completely free from ignorance in that field. Do you know any field regarding which you do not have any ignorance at all? Means, suppose you are a physics teacher. Can you say, Swamiji, in the field of physics, I do not have any ignorance? Can you say that? Suppose you are a Sanskrit scholar. And if I ask you that, do you have any ignorance in the field of Sanskrit language or not? Is there anybody who can say, Swamiji, I do not have any ignorance regarding anything in Sanskrit language? Can anybody say this? If somebody says, I would like to do namaskara, sashtang namaskara, because I do not know that much Sanskrit. So I would like to do namaskara. But of course, before that, I will ask some questions. Because claim should be verified, no? Lottery ticket is verified, no? Then only prize is given. So in any field, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, anything. Cookery, suppose. Cookery, can you say that I don't have ignorance? Oh, you cannot say. Every field, there is some area of ignorance. In fact, our area of knowledge is very little. Our area of ignorance is much more. In any field, what you know is much less than what you don't know. Isn't it true? In any field, you see. And therefore, ignorance cannot be removed by this regular method completely. Ignorance can be completely removed means you can appreciate yourself to be completely free from ignorance only by seeing that I am Sakshi of ignorance and thereby free from ignorance. Alright. Now, so by this particular principle that I, Drashta, am different from Drishyam, I discover what? Naham Dehaha. I am not the body, I am not the Indriyani, I am not Prana, I am not the mind, I am not the Buddhi, I am not Ahankara. Then, second corollary of this Drigdrishya Viveka is, who am I? I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not the mind, etc. Who am I? I am someone who am aware of all of them. So I am aware of the body, aware of the organs, aware of the mind, aware of the intellect. So I am aware. Puja Swamiji used to use the word awarer. Means one who is knowing. Drashta. With reference to the body, etc., which are Drishyam, I am Drashta, knower, awarer. Without their reference, what can be said about me? I can say I am the content of awarer. And the content of awarer is called awareness, otherwise called consciousness. So who am I? I am the truth of Drashta, which is otherwise called Drishti, Jnanam, Chaitanyam. So I am the truth of awarer, awareness, otherwise called consciousness. Why am I called consciousness? Because the mind, which is non-conscious by itself, becomes conscious because of my presence. The mind, which is not conscious by itself, jadam it is, because it is a product of matter. The mind which is non-conscious or jadam, inert, becomes conscious of various objects because of my presence. Therefore, I, the truth of awarer, am called consciousness. So what is consciousness? Consciousness is that which makes non-conscious inert mind conscious. That is why I can be called consciousness, Chaitanyam, the truth of, the content of the Drashta, Jnata, which is called Jnaptihi, Chaitanyam. And I, consciousness who am the truth of the Drashta, has to be existent, because existent alone can be aware of something. Non-existent cannot be aware. Therefore, I, the consciousness, am existent. And I, the consciousness, when am I existent? In Jagrata Avastha, I am there illumining the mind, illumining the world through the mind. So in Jagrata Avastha, I am very much there. I, consciousness, am very much there. In Swapna Avastha, I am illumining the dream experiences, dream objects. In fact, in Brihadaranyaka, this Swapna Avastha is used to reveal the Swayam Jyotishtvam, the self-effulgent nature of Atma. Why? Because in the Jagrata Avastha, this external light also is there. Therefore, whether the objects are illumined by external light or the light of consciousness, doubt may be there. But in Swapna Avastha, external light is not there, still objects are illumined. And therefore, Atma is Swayam Jyoti, he is self-effulgent. So, I am very much there in dream state. So, I, consciousness, Sakshi, otherwise we call Sakshi, the witness, am present in the waking state, present in the dream state, and present in the deep sleep state. When all the objects are resolved, all thoughts are resolved, I am aware of the absence of thoughts. That is why when we wake up, what we say? Na kinchid avedisham. I did not know anything. Because I was illumining the absence of the experiences, absence of the object cognition, Vishayakara Jnanam. That is why in sleep I don't cease to be. This particular recollection in the waking state that I slept well, I did not know anything, implies that I was very much there. The Buddhists, they say that in Sushupti, Atma is dissolved. Atma also is finished. Whereas we say that in Sushupti, I am there illumining the ignorance of everything, or I am illumining the absence of everything. And therefore, I am conscious or consciousness even in the Sushupti Avastha. Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvid Vijrumbate. In all the three states, I am there. In which state I am not there? There is no state. Some people say, Swamiji, what about the Turiya Avastha? Some people are obsessed with this Turiya. Turiya Avastha is not really a separate Avastha. Turiya Avastha, if you are familiar with this word, Turiya literally means the fourth state. But really speaking, it is not the fourth state. Turiya Avastha is the true nature of Atma without association with any objects, any particular experience. So it is not really a state, it is the true nature of the self which is in and through all three of them, but not limited by any one of these three. And therefore, there is no avastha when I am not there. I am. So, am, which implies, which reveals existence. Existence never leaves me consciousness. And therefore, existence, Sat, is my nature. So, I am Chit because I am the content of the drashta of the body, mind, sense complex. I am Sat because I never cease to be. I, consciousness, never cease to be. Therefore, I am Sat. So, by the Dridrishya Viveka itself, we can arrive at I am Satchidatma. Further, we'll extend this Dridrishya Viveka, Atma Anatma Viveka. The first principle we saw is I, Drashta, am different from Drishyam. Now the second principle is Jnaya Dharmaha, Jnaya Dharmaha. In a little bit, mystical way we say this. Jnaya Dharmaha, Jnaya Dharmaha. Or Drishya Dharmaha, Drishya Dharmaha. Means what? Attributes which are experienceable, they always belong to experienceable objects. Experienceable attributes, Drishya Dharmaha, belong to the experienceable objects. Drishya Dharmaha, Drishyanam eva Dharmaha. The experienceable attributes belong to the experienceable entities. Like, I am experiencing yellow color. So, yellow color is what? Attribute. Experienceable attribute drishya dharma. Experienceable attribute yellow color. Now, this yellow color belongs to whom? Drashta or drishya? Drishya. So, experienced attribute always belongs to experienced or experienceable object, not to the drashta. If I see yellow color, I don't become yellow. The knower of the yellow color does not become yellow. So, experienced attributes belong to experienced objects. Drishya dharmaha, drishyanam eva dharmaha, or drishyasya eva dharmaha. The experience attributes belong to experienceable entities. This is a very big thing. Now we apply to all experienceable qualities. Fatness, heaviness. Swamiji, I feel very heavy. So heaviness is experienceable quality. Belongs to what? Experienceable body. Fatness, heaviness is experienceable or not? Belongs to experienced body. Deafness. Suppose somebody is short of hearing. The partial deafness is experience or not? Person experiences. Sometimes he pretends that he is hearing properly, but really is not hearing. He will say, yeah, ma, he will say. But he knows that he did not hear. So, deafness, partial deafness or full deafness is experienced quality and it belongs to experienceable organs. Now comes the next one. Sadness. Sadness is experienced by you or not? And so Shastra says sadness is drishya dharma. It is experienceable quality. Therefore, it should belong to what? Experienceable mind only, not to you. That's a very beautiful thing. Generally, people say what? Swamiji, I am experiencing so much sadness. Therefore, I am sad. I am experiencing so much sadness, therefore I am sad. Shastra, Vedanta says, you are experiencing sadness, therefore you are not sad. Because experienced quality belongs to experienced entity, not to the experiencer, jnata, drashta. This is a very beautiful thing. Sadness which is experienced, it belongs to experienced mind, not to me, even though my name is Sadatma. My name is Sadatma. Many people say like Sadatma. Still, I know that I am not Sadatma. Why? I am the Sakshi of sadness. This is a very beautiful contemplation. When sadness is lingering, momentary sadness is let it go, no problem. Sadness is lingering, and you have got this samskara of Vedanta, then this is the contemplation. What? I am aware of sadness. I am Sakshi of sadness. Sadness has come, sadness is going. Puja Swamiji used to say, you always see pain going. See pain going. Pain is going. Means one pain come, it goes away, it's going. So I am Sakshi of this sadness. Therefore what? I am not sad. I am Sakshi of the sadness which belong to the known, experienceable mind. That's a very big relief. Otherwise, you know what happens? People become sad that they are all the time sad. Secondary infection. So, Swamiji, I don't know why, but all the time I am becoming sad. Why, Swamiji? I am only becoming sad. So, I am sad about becoming sad. So, if you develop this objectivity, then because of some unconscious, getting released, some sadness may come. But that you can be objective about it. And so it will go away. And you will not be reacting while having the experience of sadness. There is some cognitive space, which Swamiji used to use the word cognitive space. Space between me and sadness. If you can develop this, means develop is not right word, discover. It is already there. If you discover the cognitive space between you, Sakshi, and the sadness, then the experience of sadness will not have a grip over you, hold over you. Alright. So, sadness is drishya dharma, known quality, therefore it belongs to the known mind. What about confusion? Some people are all the time confusion. Very face looks like a question mark, So all the time confused. So confusion is a known attribute or unknown? Known. You are known, Swamiji, I have got a lot of confusion. So confusion, if they are unknown, that is not an issue. Anything is, when become known, it becomes a problem. So confusion is known to you. And therefore, it belongs to the known intellect. Or you can say known mind. Either way you can say. I am the witness of this confused buddhi. And similarly, I am aware of this ajnanam. Therefore, this ajnanam also belongs to karana sharira, maya. Doesn't belong to me. And thus, I am attributeless consciousness. So, by this viveka, what do you arrive at? I am aware of attributes, and whatever attribute I am aware of belongs to the experienced entities, and therefore I am attributeless, because I am not available to be objectified. My attributes cannot be objectified, because to objectify the attribute, you have to objectify attributed entity. I am not available to be objectified, therefore my attributes are not available to be objectified, and therefore no attribute can be established of Atma. All attributes that are known to you belong to Anatma, non-self. I am attributeless consciousness. Nirgunam Chaitanyam Ahamasmi. And further, any change at any level is known to you. And known change belongs to the known body, non-mind, non-sense organs. I am aware of changes and therefore free from changes. Because drishya dharma is drishya dharma eva. So all changes I am aware of, and whatever I am aware of, that attribute does not belong to me, and therefore I am changeless, because all changes are experienced. In fact, there is a shloka that Atma is vikari. Sakshi yadi vikari syat, kas sakshi vikarino bhavet. See, if Atma undergoes changes, then who will notice the changes of the modification? It is just a suppositional argument. Because Anatma cannot notice the change in Atma. Because Anatma is Jada. And Atma itself is undergoing a change. To know the change, there should be another entity which knows the pre-state, the state before change and the state after change. Then only the change can be noticed. And there is no other entity other than Atma which is conscious. And therefore, vikara, the modification of the self, can never be established. So, I am nirvikara chaitanyam. Why? Because modification is known. And known modification belong to known modifying entities. Not to me, the knower. Therefore, I am changeless consciousness. Further we develop time and space. Time is something I am aware of. And time is relative. The waking state time is not available in dream. Because in waking state, as per waking state, only 2 minutes have passed. They say our dream is generally 90 seconds or so. So in that 90-second dream, I might have lived the life of 50 years, 60 years. Possible. And therefore the waking time is not available in dream. Waking time is gone. Not available in dream. And waking and dream time, both of them are resolved in sleep. So time comes, time goes, I continue to be there. And therefore, I am the very truth of the time which is subject to coming and going. That which comes and goes is mithya. Adavante chayannasti vartamanepi tattatha. That which is not there in the beginning, at the end, even though it appears in between, it is really not there. Therefore, this time is mithya. I am the content of the time. I am not contained in time. I am the very content, the truth of this time. Similarly, space. The space also, the waking space is not available in dream space. The dream, you have experience of space, that much space is not there in the waking state. In the waking state, you are sleeping in 10 by 10 room. And in the dream, you are experiencing wide the space, so many mountains. So there is a different space. And the waking space and dream space, both are resolved in deep sleep. Still I continue to be there. Therefore, this space also is subject to coming and going. Therefore, it is mithya. I am the truth because I continue even when space is resolved. And thus, I am timeless. I am spaceless. Means dimensionless. This dimensionlessness of the self is very important to understand, because people will ask this question. Swamiji, you say, I am consciousness, Ishvara is consciousness, like I am a wave and Ishvara is like water. The truth behind the wave and the ocean is the same water. And therefore, you are one with Ishvara. We say like this. So here people have the doubt. He says in the example, the water behind the wave is very little. The water behind the ocean is very big. So Swamiji, even though you say water, but I have to admit I am a small water. And Ishvara is what? big water. That doubt remains. How can you say I am totally one with Ishvara? For that, our answer is this. In Drishtanta, yes, the size matters there. Therefore, they have got this shloka that Samudro hi taranga, etc. But in the Dashtanta, the main subject matter, the consciousness based on which we are talking about the non-difference of Jiva and Ishvara, that consciousness is dimensionless. So, I am dimensionless consciousness, Ishvara is dimensionless consciousness. So, between the dimensionless conscious, two dimensionless conscious, there is no two, but so-called two, there is no difference based on dimension. And therefore, I am dimensionless, timeless consciousness. Akhanda Chaitanyam I am. Because everything known being Drishyam, it is Mithya. Why? Because Drishyam depends upon the Drashta. And therefore is dependently existing. Therefore it is Mithya. So entire Drishya Jagat is Mithya. I, Drashta, the truth of Drashta, Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, am Satyam. So I, Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, am Satyam, and Drishya Jagat, which includes the body, mind, sense complex, is Mithya. That much we can derive by the Drishya Viveka. Alright, with this background we'll see the shloka, Naham Dehaha. I am not the body. And as we saw yesterday, this should not be merely a statement to be repeated. I am not the body. We need to see the implications of that. Assimilating this Vedanta or getting the clarity in Vedanta means seeing the implications. Otherwise, Vedanta is this much only. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not this intellect, I am Satchidanand Swarup Atma, over. So, what is there to be taught? How can we conduct 1 week's these classes? So many classes, so many courses we are having. Basic material is very little. But the teaching is this. You see the implications of the statements. And see the truth of that statement and implications in your life. I am not the body means I am not born, I am not aging, I am not old, I am not a man, I am not a woman, I am not a Brahmana, I am not Indian, I am not foreigner. All these are implications. And do I have any such conclusion about myself which is controlling my life? Like some people have got the complex based on the complexion. I am dark. Or some people have complex based on gender. One lady told me, Swamiji, if I was a man, I would have shown to the world. Like some people say like this. Means that missing that. So when you appreciate yourself to be Naham Dehaha, then all implications are seen in life. If somebody tells you, Swamiji, you are looking very old now. Oh, so I should do something, I should dye my hair or something. Some Swamis also do that, very unfortunately. So, is there any complex based on the body which is controlling my life? Gender, complexion, weight. Some people know they have got so much complex based on their weight. Overweight. Underweight people generally don't have complex. Sometimes they also have, but generally overweight people. Therefore, you cannot ask, what is your weight? If you if you ask, he or she will be very angry. Because he or she wants to forget that. He doesn't want to remember that, and you are reminding him. So you see that, is there any conclusion which is creating complex in me? Superiority, inferiority, or is there any fact related to this body which I am very anxious to hide? Means people should not know this. Is there anything? That I am not a Brahmana, I am not Indian, or I am not this. Am I defensive about it? I am protective about the facts related to the body. It means there is no objectivity. So, naham dehaha, implication is this. Corollary should be seen very clearly. Then we go to the next one, na indriyani. I am not the organs. Means eyes have got some high power. Means myopia is there. People have so much complex based on that. Therefore, we have contact lens. Why? Because for marriage, glasses, and now olden days, nowadays perhaps they don't care, but in olden days that's very important. You should not have glasses. Because otherwise people will think you are old. Now it is a fashionable, but olden days it was like this. Most of the girls who have got glasses used to wear contact lens. Why? Because these glasses was a sign of old age. Be clear? In fact, more than the glasses, a hearing aid is a big complex. I tell you, if your age is 50, 55 and you are hard of hearing, you will not go for hearing aid if it is required. Why? Oh, hearing aid. People will ask, what happened? You are so old. One person who is 70 said, Swamiji, I don't feel like wearing hearing aid. Why? Because I look older. I said, already 70. And when the audiologist told me, he said, now we have got hearing aid which can be fixed in the glasses. So it's a glass cum hearing aid, so that people will not know that this person is wearing hearing aid. How much complex is that? So, na indriyani. I am not the organs. Ears have got some difficulty. My ears have got some difficulty. And funny thing is, the doctor, when I went to the ENT specialist, he told me that, Swamiji, this type of problem generally comes to women, and that too after delivery. I said, I am neither. Some particular disease is there. See, I happen to have that prarabdha. It is called autosclerosis. So there is something like that, that after it comes. There. And I underwent some surgery also for that. But it's a middle ear problem. I'm just by the way. So just to give you the information how interesting things are. But that surgery did not work. So the doctor was feeling so bad that surgery did not work. So he gave me free hearing aid. Okay, that's by the way. So I am not the organs. Organs have got difficulty in hearing, seeing, what others. Some people have problem in smell also. Means they can't smell completely. I did not know, but there are few people. Fortunately, I don't have that problem. So that na indriyani. This knowing that I am not that is supposed to give me objectivity. About the eyes I am objective, about the ears, about the nose, about all the organs I am objective. Then na prana vargaha, we'll take that first. I am not the group of prana. Here prana refers to pancha prana. Prana varga means the group of pancha prana. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Prana means respiratory system. The vital air which is sustaining, energizing our respiratory system, that is called prana. Vital air, vital force, they use the word. So some people have got this asthma problem. Means prana is not functioning properly. Apana. Apana means it is this waste disposal system. So some people have constipation problem, some people have diarrhea, all this. These are problems related to what? Apana. That's how it is. So be objective about this. The respiratory system has some problem. I don't have problem. Asthma is there. Some people try to hide that nobody should know I got asthma. Hey, it is prana's problem, not my problem. I always share this one experience I had in Bangalore. One small child gave me this. His name was Govind. He was attending our children class in Bangalore. And I was told that he has got tooth problem, toothache. So when he came, I asked him, Govind, how are you? How is your tooth? He said, tooth is not okay, but I am okay. He told me this, tooth is aching, but I am okay. That's a nice thing. Prana has some problem, I am okay. Similarly, apana. People generally don't like to say that I have got constipation problem. We should not tell also. Unless we are asked, when you are asked, how are you? We should not say I have got constipation problem. You said fine, but if he asks in detail, then perhaps we can tell. Doctor, you can tell, yes. Apana, vyana, circulation. Some people have got the problem of the circulation. Some brain doesn't get enough oxygen or enough blood. Vyana problem. So in between they get giddiness. In class also it may happen. So you start in Sadashiva Samaramba and Purnamada Purnamidam. You get up. Because brain did not get. Vyana problem. Samana, digestion. Some people have digestion problem, especially when you are eating bonda and all chutney and all this. Very difficult to digest. Today only our manager was reading this menu and he was telling Swamiji, all will create gas trouble. Because he has got perhaps gas trouble. For people like you, it will not create. So some people have got good digestion. Anything they eat, they will digest. Whatever, kacha, pakka, jo bhi. Samana. And this udana. Udana is generally for the reversal system, like vomiting, etc. And it is more active at the time of death. It is a whistle blowing prana. Chalo, 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 time is up. Like in a trip, no bus, that conductor will say, no, now time is up, let us go. So udana does that job. Generally it is dormant. Only when some poison or something poisonous thing comes in the liver, then it reverses. So it is connected with the rejectory system. So these pranas also I am not objective about prana. Similarly, buddhihi, the mind. Buddhi stands for both mind and this intellect. I am not. Generally, I have seen that as person becomes more and more educated, the identification with the intellect increases. See, when you entered into this Vedanta pursuit, then you were very innocent. You say, I don't know what is Upadana Karanam, Nimitta Karanam, and Adhyasa, and this Sansarga Adhyasa, Swarupa Adhyasa, Dharmi Adhyasa. You did not know all this. So you will say, I don't know, I am just come. But as you become a senior student, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, then you will have that particular image that I am a senior student. And therefore, by chance somebody asks you some question and you don't know the answer, you have a lot of perspiration. Why? Because you have so much identification with your buddhi. The people who are not educated, they say, ab to unpad hai, we are illiterate, what we do. Very, very, very innocently they answer. They are also sometimes complex. But as person becomes more educated, this identification is more concentrated on this intellect. In many cases. So one needs to know that intellect is not perfect. Don't expect perfection from your intellect. At anatma level, there is no perfection. At body, is there anybody sitting here who can say, Swamiji, my body is perfect? There is no problem at all. I don't think anybody is there. Something or the other will be there. But manageable. Therefore, if somebody say, how are you? You can say, fine. That much fine health is we have. Therefore, we manage. There is no perfect body. There is no perfect mind. Does anybody here have the mind which never have elation or depression? Up and down, Swamiji, my mind graph is like this. Is there anybody here? I would like to do namaskar again. Really? Because my mind also goes up and down. There is no such thing. Even your heart doesn't have straight line. You know that? In fact, if it's straight line, is there some problem? Intellect also cannot be perfect. So this Atma, Anatma, Viveka makes you relaxed about the imperfection of your body, your senses, your mind, your intellect. Sometimes there is a dullness, especially in satsang night satsang class, there is some dullness. It's okay. Teacher also knows, because once upon a time we also were there, no? So we know in class we also feel sleepy sometimes. It's okay. Which is Swamiji used to say, if somebody is yawning, you should not feel bad. As a teacher, you should not feel bad. Because yawning means that person is attempting to be alert. You take it that way. So this Atma, Anatma, Viveka makes you objective, relaxed about the conditions of Anatma. And the last one is Antarangaha Ahankaraha Aham Na. Naham Dehaha Na Indriyani Antarangaha Ahankaraha Aham Na. I am not Ahankaraha, which is Antarangaha. Antaranga means internal or innermost. Among all these Anatma, Karya Anatma, Ahankara is the inner, the most inward. Therefore, it's called Antaranga. The word Ahankara has got several meanings. One meaning of Ahankara is pride. Aham Sreshtaha, Aham Sarva Sreshtaha iti buddhihi Ahankara. I am the best among all. This pride is called Ahankara. Another meaning is Atmanaha Vishishtabhimanam Ahankaraha. Means the notion of the self being qualified in a particular way. I am a doctor, I am an engineer, or I am endowed with good action, I am endowed with wrong action. Vishishtabhimana, the identification with the attributes of Anatma. That is called Ahankara. Another meaning which is more appropriate here is Abhimanashrayaha Antahkaranam Ahankaraha. The mind which is having the notion of ego or the notion of identity. Abhimana, ashraya antakaranam ahankaraha. So the mind, which is the locus for identification, the notion that I am this or that, I am a karta, I am a bhokta, I am engineer, doctor, I am a teacher, I am a student, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. All these are abhimana. Abhimana means notion about oneself. False notion about oneself is called abhimana. And this notion is occurring in one aspect of antakarana. And that aspect of antakarana is called ahankara. So in this context, ahankara refers to antakaranam, which is having this identification. I am this, I am that, I am fat, I am lean, I am deaf, I am seeing, I am not seeing. So that antakarana, of course, with Chidabhasa, is called here ahankara. And here it is said, I am not that ahankara. Because I am aware of that antakarana, the mind, which is having the notion, I am this or that. Therefore, I am not ahankara, because ahankara also is drishyam. Then, third line we have already seen, we will see more in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.